Chosen one, you've been hunted across lifetimes, but this is a lifetime where you end the war. You've lived this war before. The spiritual warfare, okay, the inner knowing, that ancestral ache that you have that you just can't explain. It's not random. Your soul didn't just wake up, okay? It remembered. 22 seconds on my timer. Spirit says you carry lifetimes of betrayal, okay? Of resistance, healing, okay? Magic. And every one of those lives, you were marked. Not because you were weak, but because you were powerful in a way that they couldn't control. Let's break it down. So wherever I'm tapping into some type of a Lemurian priest or priestess. Spirit says your earliest soul memories are from Lemuria. I'm hearing the word soft, okay? It's a soft, ancient land. And in this lifetime and in this land, your energy was very innocent. Your energy was very unguarded and very much loving, okay? You weren't trying to fight anyone or resist against anything. You were like some type of a womb priest or womb priestess, okay? A womb keeper, I just heard. You were some type of a gentle intuitive, okay? And I'm seeing you working with sand, okay? I'm seeing you working with the ocean's water. And I'm seeing you activating light codes as well. Spirit says in this lifetime, you used your hands to heal emotional trauma. You spoke to the ocean and it responded. But something in the energy shifted. At some point, a foreign energetic grid was laid, okay? A vibration, okay? Something felt off. Spirit says you felt it in your body before you could even name it. Spirit says when the collapse came, you watched everything sacred be erased. And you carried that grief into every single life after. After that lifetime, you shifted to a warrior. In Atlantis, you returned, but you were no longer soft. You were trained. You remembered in this lifetime what happened in your previous life, and you weren't about to let it repeat. Spirit says in this lifetime you were an Atlantean warrior, okay? Spirit says you worked with energetic weapons, frequency fields, okay? I just heard planetary portals, okay? Take it how it resonates. And your job in this life was to protect younger psychic starseed souls from being psychically attacked or invaded. But Atlantis had already been infiltrated. Spirit says the leadership of that time sold out to corrupted technology. Then your mission shifted into resistance, okay, instead of preservation. You lost a lot of people in that life, chosen one, and I feel like in this lifetime, you blamed yourself. And in this life, you didn't die, okay? You were silenced. And the trauma of knowing the truth but being ignored still lives in your throat chakra. Next lifetime, you were a seer, silenced during the burning times. You reincarnated into a female body during the burning times. You were a dream seer, okay? You were an herbalist. You were a midwife. And you lived alone on the edge of a village. Spirit says you never called yourself a witch, but you can feel the energy. You were able to predict weather shifts in that time, okay? You were able to predict when someone would pass. Unfortunately, in that time, the church saw that as very dangerous. Spirit says you were turned in by someone that you helped. From what they're showing me, what hurts the most from this lifetime is that you didn't fight back. Spirit says in this life, you accepted your fate because you thought that it would help protect others. And Spirit says you carry that fear of being seen to this day. But it's not weakness, baby. It's memory. The next lifetime, 1347, the Black Plague. Spirit says in 1347, you were one of the only people that was actually trying to heal other people. You used oils, herbs, intuition, but you weren't licensed. So they called you a witch again. They thought or accused you of causing the sickness instead of healing it, instead of fighting it. Spirit says in this life, they destroyed your home, okay? They slandered and destroyed your name. I'm hearing ashes, ashes. But not before you passed your medicine down to a child who carried your knowledge forward. In this lifetime, your gift was about passing the code, okay? Not taking the credit. Not needing the credit. The rebel soul. 1724. You came back in a black or indigenous body. Hey. Spirit says you were born in bondage, but your spirit refused to accept it. Spirit says you sang in secret. You used drumming and prayer to break the curses. You work with bones, okay? You work with mud. You whispered chants. And you started teaching others how to resist spiritually. How to survive in a system that was designed to erase them. But you were caught. You were publicly punished. But they couldn't take your magic. And now in this life, you are so deeply connected to justice, to rebellion, to generational healing. That's not random. That's soul memory. In your most recent lifetime, bring it to the 20th century, you were highly, highly psychic. Born into war, okay? Probably Europe, somewhere under very deep surveillance. Spirit says you saw patterns in dreams, okay, and people and symbols. Spirit says you knew what was happening beneath the propaganda of that time. I'm seeing 1942 specifically, okay? Take it how it resonates. And Spirit says you really worked hard to try to protect what little spirituality was left. Spirit says you lived quietly, okay? Spirit says you lived secretly. Spirit says you hid behind books. Spirit says you protected children in this life. And Spirit says you kept your magic behind closed doors in this life. And baby, in that life, you felt alone as hell. You really questioned in this lifetime if anything you did really mattered. But see, that life taught you how to survive under pressure, how to move in silence, how to wait for the right timeline to strike. That timeline is now. This timeline that you are in now, chosen one, is different. This lifetime is different because you now come with all the spiritual codes from all of those lifetimes. The healer, the seer, the protector, the mystic, the rebel. You're here to break the cycle, okay? Not repeat it. And this time, you remember who the enemy is. You remember what they did. And you remember what you came to do, okay? Tap the fuck in. That's why they're scared. That's why you've been attacked so hard. Because you are the version of you that they prayed would never come. If you felt that in your body, if those past lives hit for you, something deep inside you, there's a reason. Because those weren't just stories, baby, okay? They're codes, okay? They're memories. Fragments of a war that's still unfolding. The truth is, the same energy that hunted you back then is trying to stop you now. But what they didn't expect was that you'd remember. Tap the fuck in, because this time, you're not the witch they burned. You're the fire that returned. And now I'm gonna give you guys a soul affirmation to activate all that memory. I need you guys to say this out loud. I call back every gift I ever buried to stay safe. I remember my power in every form that it's ever taken. I'm no longer afraid of being seen, misunderstood, or punished for who I am. This is the lifetime that I've returned to complete this mission. I don't forget, I don't fold, I rise, I return, I reign.
Looks like you forgot. Once again, how powerful you are.